Hey, what's going on YouTube? In this video, we're going to solve this quadratic equation by completing the square. So the very first thing you should do when you're completing a square is to make sure there is a coefficient of 1 here. So there is a 1 here, so things are good. Second thing you should do is get rid of the constant. So subtract 13 from both sides in this case. So let's do that. So minus 13, beautiful stuff, minus 13, what a good marker. So we get x squared plus 8x. So x squared plus 8x. And these 13's cancel, then over here you get 0 minus 13, so you get minus 13, so things are good. The next step is to actually complete the square. So what does that mean? Well, you take the coefficient of x, so the number that's right in front of the x, you divide it by 2 and you square it, okay? So 8 over 2 is 4, 4 squared is 16. So we add 16 to both sides. So let me go over that again and let me show the step. So we take the coefficient of x, which is 8, okay, you divide it by 2, that gives you 4. Then you square it, so 4 squared, and then you get 16. And you do that every single time when you complete the square, right? You just take this number, divide it by 2, and square it. So we add that to both sides. So we get x squared plus 8x plus 16, what a cool marker, equals negative 13 plus 16, that's going to be 3. All right, so after you do this step will always be the same, okay? So this will always factor no matter what, right? This is always going to factor, and it's always going to look like this. So you just write this down, parentheses x, take this and divide it by 2. So 8 over 2 is 4. And then you keep the sign. Every single time, right? This magically becomes this. That's the whole point of completing the square, right? Is that this factors. This is called a perfect square trinomial, because it factors into what's called a perfect square, okay? So again, you write the parentheses, the x, the 2, take this, divide it by 2. If you multiply all of this out, you do get this, right? So people always ask, oh, what happens to the 8x, right? Well, it just factors, and this is equal to 3. Once you get here, you can use something called the square root property. Basically, you take the square root of both sides to get rid of the 2. When you do that, you get x plus 4, and whenever you take the square root, what happens is you get a plus or minus, right? When you take the square root of a variable squared, you get a plus or minus. So this is going to be plus or minus the square root of 3, right? So take the square root to get the 2. Don't forget the plus or minus. Last but not least, subtract the 4. So minus 4. So you end up with x equals, looks like negative 4 plus or minus square root of 3. So negative 4 plus or minus square root of 3. You can put the plus or minus first, but you don't have to. And that's the final answer. I hope this video has helped someone out there learn how to complete the square. That's it.